Hey everyone, this is J-Dog and I'm here with another video. Broken promises after broken promises from Jim Crow Joe and the Biden administration. Biden sexuals continue to take L's. This time, the Biden sexuals of the HBCUs who said that we should vote for Biden because he was going to do this and that and blah, blah, blah. A lot of the Biden sexuals in different sectors have been taking major L's because this guy has broken promise after promise. Let's see. He was talking about helping immigration. However, he was not talking about black immigrants. The black immigrants who supported Biden, they ended up, half of their family members who were also black immigrants ended up getting deported. Haiti is an example of that. While Afghans and Mexicans and Asians are coming in droves. That's because Biden wants to help them. He wants a new voter base that overthrows black people. Alright. The Democrats have shown that they are 100% anti-black than pro-black. They are 100% anti-black. The George Floyd Act, that ended up falling short. Voting rights falling short. Plus, they have not talked about reparations or any other benefits to help specifically black people. But they're giving loans and grants and money to the Asian community and to the Afghan community, to the Middle Easterns. And why do I talk about HBCUs? Well, he is cutting funding from HBCUs. HBCUs, as a result, could end up losing up to $30 million in funding. Meaning, when I mean by it, I mean that the money that's already being funded to HBCUs, well, consider that being gutted down to almost $2 billion, or even almost to the point of nothing, because they want to lower spending costs, lower spending to help with the government. But HBCUs are going to lose a lot of money. That means classes are going to get more expensive because they have to make as much money as possible from the students, from the student body, which is going to put more students in debt, from the student loans and stuff like that. And then it's because people trusted Jim Crow Joe, and he has broken a lot of promises. And this is why I did the video the other day about how his approval rating, among black people at least, have dipped from 86 to 64. Like, his approval rating wasn't as high as Obama's, although that's starting to dip. But from 86 and 64. How this is going to be a problem? Because he ain't the only Democrat who's losing in poll numbers. Other Democrats in the Congress and the Senate, or any other position of power, mayor, governor, court judge, sheriff, whatsoever, any Democrat is now at heavy risk of losing their seats to Republicans or independents because of a low turnout from black voters, because of the low approval ratings, indicating that black people are upset and are turning away from the Democratic Party after the Democrat Party has shown that they are not willing to help black people. This could also hurt future Democrats after other Democrats finally leave office, like Joe Biden. It's going to make it difficult for Vice President Kamala Harris to try to run for office. Not saying she would lose, but it's going to be a lot more difficult for her to get the wins, to get the votes needed, unless, of course, they find new voters. She could end up losing even to an incompetent, losing Republican who loses everything but will win the presidency, making that the only way that Kamala will ever have a bigger chance of being in office is if Biden leaves, because that's what many people are saying, that he may not even survive a full 4 to 8 years, and Kamala will just go in from there, and then whoever's the Speaker of the House, which is Nancy Pelosi currently, will become the new vice president. And I mean, that's another story. But yeah, all these broken promises, all these benign neglect is now hurting Democrats. Not just Biden, but it's also hurting Kamala's reputation, and it's also hurting the reputations of senators and congressmen that are Democrats currently in the office. And like I said before, 2022, next year, midterms, some at-risk Democrats, like, well, I don't know if Joe Manchin's seat is up for grabs. If not, then his seat would be up for grabs in the 2024 election. But some of those congressmen, like Jim Clyburn and all them, they're, and also because of the voting, you know, the situation with the people taking away voting rights and stuff like that, with the new laws like in Texas to restrict voting. Democrats are in big trouble of losing a lot of seats where the Republicans can take over at least the Senate and House until the 24 election. And this is what the Democrats get for not fulfilling the promises. Because even though there's a lot of immigrants coming in to the country that may vote Democrat, that doesn't mean half those immigrants, that doesn't mean all the immigrants that come in are going to vote Democrat, because Democrat made it easier for immigrants to come in. There may be some immigrants that will still vote for the Republicans because of the policies that they agree with, that they may, like even though they are for immigration, some of the immigrants that coming in may not be for other things. Like, there's not, in Middle Eastern countries and some African countries where the academy or LGBT rights don't exist, since the Democrats support the academy, some immigrants may not like that and will still go with the Republicans, or will just not vote, period, and stuff like that. And Biden, that's votes that Biden will still not get. Also, the black community might not even show up in the midterm election, because may not even show up because they're not happy with the fact that nothing is being done for black people. Remember, even right now, black people are still the top voting base of the Democratic Party. And that's what the Democratic Party does not get. They may never get a new voting base with immigrants or other people. Or they may not get it in time to stop the Republicans from winning elections. And they still have to depend on a large number of black voters to win elections. And that's karma on Joe Biden. But as far as the HBCUs, this is karma on them, because they voted in droves for Biden, and Biden is not really doing much to help with the HBCUs. He's gutting needed money to keep these HBCUs alive. Now, and this is, I have some the point is that the reason why HBCUs were created was because black people couldn't always go to the PWIs, and the reason why more black people are starting to go to HBUs or create their own schools, their own other schools, is because of the racism in the PWIs. And because I'm starting to see more black people starting to go to HBCUs or form their own schools, they're going to still struggle financially because of the gutting. But like I said, we voted for this guy to not do such things. We was never expecting Trump to help HBCUs. But the amount of people that voted for Biden who are from the HBCUs, they acted as if Biden was going to be this big savior for HBCUs. And it turns out that Biden is hurting the funding of the HBCUs. But that's all I have to say. I want to know what y'all think in the comment section about this. More promises being broken, and if Biden does not do something specific to help black people, he may not get our base to come up in the midterms to help his fellow Democrats, and he may not get that base if he's still around in 2024 if they don't have enough other voters to help. And the Democrats will be in losing, because remember, because of what happened with Obama and even with Hillary or the husband of Hillary, Bill Clinton, that's unfortunately why we ended up with Trump. And if Democrats don't get it together, they could end up with Trump or another Republican again. And the HBCUs also got to realize they need to be careful who they are voting for. See, another thing I want to talk about is that the HBCUs need to start being careful for who are they supporting in these elections, who are they voting for. Because if they vote for the wrong people, that you're going to end up with situations where you lose funding for HBCUs, but other schools get better funding, and that can hurt HBCUs. This is karma for those who trusted Biden and got nothing in it in return. But that's all I have to say about this. I want to know what y'all think in the comment section. Write down in the comment section what you think. Follow me on the different accounts, whether it be from YouTube, my different channels on from YouTube, whether it be my main or my backup channels. Follow me on Twitter, Discord, Black Junction, whatever. You can find me that social media platform that I'm on if you want to subscribe to my channel or account and see if I do another post, chat, or video, or etc. Like I said before, hit that like button wherever you're watching this video. Share, hit that like button, share, and that's all I have to say. This is J-Dog. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch y'all in another video. Peace, everyone.